Janmāṣṭamī is the celebration of Lord Krishna's birth. For Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we consider Lord Krishna to be the highest form of God. So we believe that God manifests in different forms to different people at different times. So in some places, he's manifested to protect his devotees in a very fearsome form as Lord Nrsimhadev. In some places, he appeared as Lord Ram to demonstrate what it means to be an ideal king. At one time, he manifested here in Mayapur as Lord Chaitanya, and he manifested in his original form, Lord Krishna, in Vrindavan 5,000 years ago. So for us, this celebration of Janmāṣṭamī is one of the main festivals for us throughout the whole year. And devotees from all over Mayapur come together in a great celebration for his birth. During this festival, we have in the morning a yajna, where we do a fire sacrifice, and we do all of the different rituals which are done normally for a child. So a ritual for the child's birth, for giving him a name, for cutting his hair, for the beginning of his education. All of these things are done normally in our tradition for children as they grow up. And on this particular day, we do these same rituals for Krishna, just like his parents did when he appeared in Vrindavan. So this happens in the morning, and the students from Gurukul who have learned how to do these yajnas according to the Gaudiya Vaishnava system, then they put on this yajna in front of the whole community as a service both to the deities and to all the devotees. Then in the evening, we have an abhishek, which is a great bathing ceremony for the deities. So we bathe the deities with many different kinds of substances. We have, obviously, water is there, and there's milk, and there's honey, and there's sugar syrup, and there's yogurt, and there's ghee, and there's different kinds of waters scented with different essential oils, like aguru, musk, sandalwood. We cover the deities in chandan, which is sandalwood paste, and then we rinse them off again with hot water, and then we throw flower petals on them. So we give them a very, very elaborate bath to celebrate their appearance. So all of these festivals are meant for bringing together all the devotees and helping us to actually remember our eternal relationship with Krishna. So the idea is that by having festivals where the community comes together in one place to chant God's names and to worship Him, then it helps us to center our lives around His service. Just like for most people, the parts of their life which they're most excited about and which they think about the most are different events, parties, social things where people come together in the community. So in the same way, for us, we have the same kinds of things, but they're all centered around God. Instead of doing these things in a mundane, materialistic way, which centers around drinking or intoxication or other kinds of social events that are unconnected to religious life, for us all of these events are connected to the service of God. And in that way, we're able to live our lives in such a way that the most memorable events, the most important things that we do in our life, are all centered on Krishna, are all about God. And so in that way, for devotees, what we think about most, and what we're most likely to remember at the time of death, is Krishna Himself, which is the perfection of our lives, because we believe that whatever one remembers at the end of one's life, he will take his next birth according to that condition. So if somebody remembers Krishna throughout their life, and at the end of their life, then after death, they go back to the spiritual world, where they no longer have to go through the cycle of samsara, of birth and death throughout all the various species of living entities, where one reincarnates in the animal species, in the human species, in various higher species of life, around and around and around in an endless cycle. For somebody who's able to remember Krishna at the end of one's life, then that cycle is finished, and for him there's no more suffering in the material world, which is the goal of life for Vaishnavas. So therefore, we try to have as many festivals as we can to try to always be remembering Krishna. And in this way, we try to center our lives around him. For us, that's the most important thing.